everybody, my name is Christian Aldo and welcome to the Plastic General. In today's episode, I'm going to be traveling to Stalingrad and I'm going to be hanging out with some Soviet snipers because they're having a hard time defending their beautiful city, which was originally called St. Petersburg. I can't wait to see it. It seems like it's going to be a really fun time, so what do you say? Let's go to war! Fire! So I've just arrived in Stalingrad and look what they gave me. They gave me a rifle with one bullet. I can't figure that out. But they said to me, if your comrade gets shot, you take his bullets. And I'm like, I shouldn't even be fighting in this thing. Anyway, I'll give you a little background about Stalingrad. The Germans invaded Russia, or the Soviet Union, in what they call Operation Barbarossa. And they made such incredible land gains. They made it all the way to Stalingrad, which was a city that was named after Joseph Stalin. And Stalin gave the executive order, not one step back. So you weren't allowed to retreat. You had to defend the city and its honor, and at the cost of your life. I mean, even if you tried to retreat, you'd be rounded up by the Soviet Guard and you'd be shot. So then the Germans entered the city, and before they knew it, everybody it was house-to-house combat, and it was a complete battle of nonstop attrition. Horrible cold, snipers, food shortages, just hand-to-hand combat. It was horrible. And ultimately, you know what happened. Stalingrad. So we're back, and we have a really exciting episode today. Just a reminder that we want to keep making lots of really great content, so I want to remind you to hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell so you can always be notified about the latest Plastic General episodes. Be sure to check out the Plastic General Workshop, because it's a special kind of episode where it's behind the scenes of me actually creating the props, doing conversions, or building whatever, building fortresses or battleships or whatever. But also, I want to thank Jim Maddox for the wonderful gifts that he sent us that I will be featuring in future episodes. So we'll be covering those later. So thanks a lot, Jim. So let's get into this. But we're going to be doing Stalingrad. So there's a lot of great figure sets that I want to cover. And they all come from Russia. And of course, they're made by PUBLIUS and Plastic PLATOON and Engineer BASEVICH, who are some of the greatest toy soldier manufacturers who ever existed. So the first figure set that we're going to cover is by PUBLIUS, and it's an 8-figure set. It's called the Battle of Berlin, but all the figures are very suitable for Stalingrad. Stalingrad! The first figure is a flamethrower. He has a flamethrower, doesn't matter, flamethrower guy. And the other one's a commander with a pistol. As you can see the flamethrower figure, he's wearing a heavy leather jacket to protect him from the heat of the flame. And the commander's holding his pistol, long coat. Okay, so for poses 3, 4, and 5, we have a figure holding the SVT-40 automatic rifle, and he's throwing a grenade. This figure is firing a DP7 heavier machine gun with the ammunition disc on top. And this figure is firing a PPSH 1942 submachine gun, also with an ammunition disc. And again, 3 more fantastic figures. You know, Publius seems to be closely related to Plastic Platoon. They both have probably the best sculpted figures in the world. So let's hope they keep it up. And for poses 6, 7, and 8, we have a soldier running with a PPS 43 submachine gun, which is it was the next generation of the PPSH. It's all metal stamped. And this figure is holding a captured German Panzerfaust and about to fire it. And of course, this figure here is a sniper wearing a poncho, and it's probably Vasily, the famed Soviet sniper that killed hundreds of Germans by sniping. And I'm going to be hanging out with him today, being his spotter. Here they are, all 8 poses of Soviet infantry by Publius, and it's the Soviet Battle of Berlin set. Fantastic stuff. So this next set is by Plastic Platoon, and this offering is entitled Hunters and Prey, and it's a Stalingrad set that features people being shot at and snipers defending themselves. So you have a Soviet commander here holding a PPSH submachine gun, and then we have a female soldier operating a radio and defending herself with a TT-33 pistol. Now for poses 3 and 4, we get a little bit deeper in the storyline, and we have a wounded soldier defending himself with a pistol. Obviously, he's a victim of a German sniper. And then we have a female medic sort of giving him some defensive fire. And she also has a medical bag with her, bandaging up her comrade. And finally, for poses 5 and 6, we have 2 snipers. One of them is kneeling and sharpshooting an M91 Mosin, and the other sniper is in prone position, and both are wearing the prone sniper is wearing an amoeba suit, an amoeba pattern suit, ghillie suit actually, and this one is just wearing the upper smock, and this sniper is sniping with the SVT-40 automatic rifle. You can see the scopes on there. Beautifully sculpted figures. I suspect this one is also a female sniper. So here they are, the Plastic Platoon Hunters and Prey set. And there's some of them are still floating around on eBay, so you better scoop them up because right now, Plastic Platoon, their figures are kind of hard to get. So get them if you see them. There's a sniper! Up there! Hurry! set is created by another one of my favorite Russian producers. The name of the company is called Engineer BASEVICH. And Mr. BASEVICH did something really cool and did a set of Soviet wounded and hospital figures. So the first 4 poses are 2 stretcher bearers and a wounded figure with a bandage on his head and on his arm. And here we have a medic sort of standing over him with his medical bag, tending to the figure. A really cool offering. There's 12 figures in this set, and they're all really cool. And poses 5, 6, and 7. So here we have it seems that it's a wounded Soviet tanker. He's been wounded on the leg, and we have a medic, and she's sort of sneaking up to him, tending to his wounded leg, and of course here we have the medical dog who's carrying a pack of medical supplies, and who will probably lick his wound. Now for poses 8 and 9. We have some Soviet medical team. We have a doctor here, a surgeon, and we have a nurse or a surgical assistant. And she seems to have sort of a medical tray here. And he's got like a scalpel, and she's got more medical stuff here. And they're wearing their lab whites. Their face is covered. 2 really cool figures. It would have been really nice to have had a wounded guy and they're actually operating on him. And finally, for poses 10, 11, and 12, these are figures that would have been in the hospital. We have a figure here that's recovering from one of his battle wounds, and he's playing the accordion. And we have another figure here. He's having a little bit of, he's smoking cigarettes and getting a little drunk from some vodka, having a good time. And of course, we have a guy with a camera here documenting the whole situation. I could see it in a grainy black and white like we do right now. The film just broke. Here they are, all 12 poses by Engineer BASEVICH. It's the hospital wounded set, and I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. Dig around, try to find them. They're out there. Okay, and now for the German offerings that are marching into Stalingrad. Stalingrad! The first thing we're going to cover is a Panzer II tank. This is a 1/30th scale tank, but guess what, kids? I think they messed up. It's in scale, it's actually somewhere between 1/32 and 1/30th. And here is a figure for comparison. Beautifully scaled. I did my tests measuring up the tanks and measuring them next to Forces of Valor and 21st Century Toys, and it measures beautifully. So here in the turret, we have a 20mm cannon, and over here, we have an MG-34 machine gun. It's a very a small but effective little tank. The armor's, it's mediocre, but it was just a good, reliable, fast tank, and it really helped out the Germans a lot in the beginning of the first 2 or 3 years of the war. And this one was very prevalent in Russia. Eventually, when this tank became obsolete, what they did is they removed the turret and they made it into a lot of mobile, self-propelled guns and stuff like that. But until it became obsolete, it was, like I said, it's a pretty useful tank. And so this is by Eagle Miniatures, and it's a Panzer II. It also came in an Africa Corps version, if you're lucky enough to find it. And so the next vehicle that we're going to cover is by Forces of Valor. It's the version of the truck that's towing this artillery piece. And the plastic general is gonna cheat right in front of you. It is the, oh, let me cheat here. Cheating time! It is the KFZ, kind of like KFC, like Kentucky Fried Chicken, P-R-O-T-Z-E, Prods truck with the 37 millimeter pack anti-tank gun. So that looks like a little pea shooter, if you ask me. But that's what they rode into Russia with, and they went into Stalingrad with a lot of like earlier stuff, and it comes with a really nice crew, and it's a really great set if you can get it. And this is obviously where they have the ammunition and stuff, and there's some food here stored here, and there's the artillery piece. Really light artillery piece. Was useful, I guess, for street fighting and stuff like that, but wouldn't want to put that up against a late war Soviet tank. So there it is, by forces of valor. Now, for the first set of Germans, this is a set that's created by Plastic Platoon. It's a 6-figure set of Germans sort of street fighting. They call it the Mortar Team set, but it looks like bigger than a Mortar Team. It's a couple Mortar guys. So, since it is called the Mortar Team set, let's talk about these Mortar guys. So you have a figure here operating the small mortar, and then you have a figure here loading it, and with the mortar box here on the side. So that's poses 1 and 2. Oh, and there's the rest of the mortars down here. And they're both armed with Mausers. And continuing with the street fighting, we have a German soldier here wearing the same kind of helmet cover that I have right here. He's firing a captured Soviet PPSH. And this German infantryman is firing a MP40 submachine gun. Street fighter! And for poses 5 and 6, we have a figure here wounded and sitting on the ground with his head bandaged up, obviously by a Soviet sniper. And we have a figure here firing an MP38, which was kind of the predecessor to the MP40, and he's throwing a potato masher hand grenade. More exciting street fighting. So here they are, all 6 poses by Plastic Platoon. Of course, it's 132/130th. Let's call it large scale 132. And they call it the Mortar Team set, but it's really a street fighting set from Stalingrad, very probably. Okay, for this next set, it's my favorite set, my second favorite set that I'm featuring today, besides the hospital set. This is by Plastic Platoon, and all of the figures are completely inspired by the movie Enemy at the Gates. And when you see the figures, like, it brings you right back to the movie. This would be a commander, and he's a German commander who's smoking a cigarette, who will become a victim of Vasily, the Soviet sniper. And of course, here we have a motorcycle reconnaissance figure. So he'd be the type of guy that would be driving in this motorcycle. And he's wearing his long overcoat made of leather. Both are unaware that they're in the crosshairs of a sniper. For poses 3 and 4, again, straight out of Enemy at the Gates. You have a German soldier here holding a Mauser, but what he has on his back, he has a wire for communications. And every time they were sending him through the rubble, he would become a victim of snipers. And here we have a soldier running food and water to more infantrymen in the waiting. And of course, he will become a victim of the Soviet snipers. A really fun and interesting set. And then finally, we have the two German snipers. And one of them is in prone position and firing a Mauser. And the other one is, he's in a sort of a seated position, sitting and waiting, but he covered his rifle in like a cloth camouflage. And there's camouflage sort of attached to his helmet, foliage. And he's wearing a Zeltband. So here they are, all 6 poses by Plastic Platoon. It's called Hunters and Prey, which is a set amazingly inspired by Enemy at the Gates. I hate hospital food. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button right there. The red button is the subscribe button, and hit the little bell so you can be notified about future episodes. And if you have any comments, please make comments, or if you have any criticisms or any ideas, write them in so that I can answer you back, and I will, and I always answer people back. If you spot any historical inaccuracies, which you don't because we have an entire crew of experts that advise me, write them in, challenge me. Anyway, oh yeah, you know, we finally have our Patreon up, so if you want to join our Patreon and pitch in to help pay for medical expenses and weapons to keep fighting for the cause, feel free to do so. Oh, and by the way, if you pitch in on Patreon, I'm gonna send you a personalized Plastic General realistic dog tag made by mydogtag.com, personalized for you. And if you like PayPal, we accept PayPal too. We need it to keep the fight going. Anyway, my name is Christian Aldo. This was the Plastic General. Until next time, long live 132 World War II. Goodbye.